Welcome back to Sandvan Skate Spots. We're going to Market Mile and going down to the Undercut. Let's take a look at this Market Mile marble mecca with a nice long line to show you the linear level that's defined by the river that runs through it. This spot mainly consists of two paths, but for those paying attention, you'll find a lot of alternate routes to take and other little tucked away gems that are just begging to be sessioned. Spent a lot of time in this spot making this video, and in the end, it made me reevaluate even giving spots ratings overall on a 1 to 5 scale, so we're not going to do that this time. We're going to look at what's great, what works well, and maybe what doesn't work so well in this spot, so let's take a look. Getting the obvious out of the way, you can see that this spot is great for lines. You can take some really long approaches to do some big tricks with some long slides in between, and there's normally a lot of options to go off a beaten path. So while I get some footage here, I'm also going to get some little individual clips to show you different ways you might be able to skate each one of these lines, so pay attention throughout. However, there's tons to find beyond just the lines, with great spots for hammer sessions and really some unique obstacles that I ended up having a ton of fun with sessioning on. Some of my favorite tucked away spots include this gap to grind here and this 2-stair up manual pad through the cafe. Not to mention this half moon manual pad that bumps up against the Lucier Financial Gardens and drops onto this rail. A great spot. But as you're about to see, it's all about this multi-tiered manual pad for me. This spot provided me endless joy and tons of opportunities. You can skate one individually, you can work two of them together in a line, you can manual up, you can just flip trick, even gapping out at the end like this. This spot is pretty fun, and I ended up spending a ton of time here getting some tricks I was really happy with. Manualing out of those grinds that transition down is super satisfying. I had a ton of fun gapping over the river and finding this thread the needle manual pad right here. It was awesome. But the undercut is not without its criticisms. The spot coming up here where you're going to see the gap after that plywood slows you down. The gap is really hard to hit and not very good for lines or anything else. This double set has virtually no run up and doesn't really set you up well for another line. Even the spot's iconic ramp-to-ramp gap over the benches has these awkward poles sticking up in the middle that make it not as much fun as it could be. And finally, look at this triple bench that ends up right in the wall, and you can't even skate out from the other side because there's really no run-up to hit all three. Don't fret though, there's still some great rails like this double set gap here and the up and down rail that I really ended up having some fun with here. Just when I thought I was done with the spot, I found this plaza that's on the elevated area above the main underpass, and it's pretty dope. You've got some great lines here that are going to end in either a double set or a really long rail out, and there's just some nice up and down ledges that you can take advantage of. I was super stoked to find this. And that pretty much wraps it up for the undercut. In the end, the spot is better than I thought it was going to be. I was a little frustrated by those locations that seem to go nowhere, and there are some manual pads and ledges that have really awkward run-up. But the more time I spend here, the more I found a lot to love. So come on down, take the most of these manual pads, and have a great time with the spot.